What is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. We are continuing on with our viewer suggested topic series, and today's topic comes in from Yannick S. RuneLite overview, best quality of life plugins, best settings, plugins to make your game look good, and all that. Think this will be very helpful, and we might hear a thing we don't know about yet, so yeah. So I did one of these videos a couple years ago with a lot of RuneLite plugins in it, but a lot more have been added since then, so I figured it was time for a little bit of an update. So all of the RuneLite plugins that I'm going to mention in this video do come from the actual client, not the plugin hub. The plugin hub, you can download and install other plugins that have been verified by RuneLite, but that's another video for another time. So we'll be focusing on the ones that are included with the raw RuneLite download. So if you'd like to suggest a topic for this series, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you have the little bell icon turned on. That way, when I post on my community tab for the new thread for next week's video, you'll get the notification and you'll have your chance to post your topic. If your topic is picked, I'll comment on the thread by Tuesday night or Wednesday morning and let you know that your topic has been picked so you can look forward to the video. Before we get into today's video, I want to thank the sponsor of it, that is eWin Racing. eWin Racing sells awesome gaming chairs and desks, and I now have 3 of them. You've seen the one in my office. If you've checked out the Surprising My Wife video, I got my wife an eWin Racing chair for her office downstairs, and I now have a nice new one for my office at work. You guys should know I don't promote much stuff on my channel, and I definitely stand by these products. I now have 3 of these chairs in my possession. Each one is as good as the last. They are incredibly durable. They're made of an aluminum and very hard plastic frame. They have an awesome comfort level. Their seats are nice and squishy. The upholstery is absolutely beautiful, and mine doesn't have any creases in it yet. It's been 9 or 10 months. The upholstery holds up super well. The overall construction of the chair is absolutely amazing. The best part about these chairs is you are getting your money's worth. These are a fraction of the cost of some of those other gaming chairs out there that will definitely empty your wallet. You're getting these chairs for a great value and awesome quality that comes along with that great value. So make sure if you are interested in getting one of these, head over to the eWin Racing site. There are links in the description below of my video where you can go check out these chairs, and don't forget to use code AsukaYen at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase. All right, so for this video, there's a ton of RuneLite plugins that come with the client when you download it. So to make this a little bit easier, I picked 40 of my favorite ones that I use a whole lot. So I'm going to go through those, explain them, how they work, and what they can do for you. First up is the bank plugin. This one can show you grand exchange prices and high alchemy prices when you hover over items. It can also show you your exact bank value so you know where your wealth is sitting. Even better than that, you can disable the left-click bank inventory, equipment, looting bag, and placeholders buttons, and those are really great for skilling, especially if you're trying not to accidentally bank everything in your inventory, and when you're fletching, you can keep your knife there so you don't lose it. The next one is the bank tags one, and this is actually one of my favorite ones. If you turn this plugin on, you can see on the left side of my bank, there's a bunch of additional tabs. So you can tag stuff and then turn the tabs on, and then you can see things in there. So I have a bunch of them set up for different bosses where I'm trying to finish collection logs. That way, when I do get a task or I just want to go kill it, I can go right into that tab, grab all the gear I need, and I am ready to go. Boost information is up next, and this is an awesome one too. It helps you keep an eye on your boosted stats or your stats that are actually drained. So things that people don't know about this one is if you actually hold the Alt key, you can drag it around to different spots on the screen to put it just where you want it, so it's the most convenient for you. Chambers of Xeric is another great one. This one gives you a lot of information about the raid and while you're in the raid. It can show you the elapsed raid time, it displays your points in a chat box, and the scout overlay is particularly amazing, so you can scout a raid and know exactly what's in there and what's coming next, rather than just kind of throwing yourself into one and figuring out where you're going. Chat commands is another great one. This makes me think of the old IRC days when people had bots in there that would show you a bunch of information with different commands. Well, with this one, it is right in the RuneScape chat, and it's a subcommand for RuneLite, which displays it in there, and anyone else using RuneLite can actually see your commands as well. The price command, level commands, clue commands, kill counts. It's all awesome to share information with your friends or your clanmates, and even just for you, when you're thinking about something while you're not at the Grand Exchange, you can just check the price on it. The next one is the Clue Scroll plugin, and this one is pretty simple. It just displays hint arrows, but it's actually really useful. I do every clue that's dropped for me, and sometimes I still forget exactly where I'm going. So once I get close to the area, a little arrow will pop up on the minimap, point you in the right direction, and then you'll see it on the game itself once you get close to it. It's very useful. Next up is the diary requirements. Now, I don't use this one anymore because I did complete the diaries, but I wanted to throw it in here. Instead of going to the wiki to see exactly what you need to complete a diary, this one will actually show you what the level requirements are in the achievement diary interface. So if you're going for the diaries and you don't want to keep constantly checking the wiki, make sure you turn this on. You'll be able to see them right in the interface. The next one is particularly amazing, and this one is the Entity Hider. So if you didn't know about this one, definitely pay attention because it is super useful. The Entity Hider allows you to hide things in old school RuneScape, such as other players, pets, anything like that. A great place to use this is actually at Wintertot in the official Wintertot worlds. There are so many people there. Sometimes you can't see if you're taking damage. Sometimes you can't see anything going on. But if you turn this on and hide other players, it will make all of those other players except for your character disappear. That way you can better see what you're doing and definitely be more efficient. The next one is the Examine plugin, and this adds additional information when you examine an item. So if you're curious to see how much something costs, instead of typing in the price command, you can actually just right click it and click Examine, and it will show you the Grand Exchange and High Alchemy value in there as well. Next up is fairy rings. The fairy ring plugin is really cool because when you're using a fairy ring and directing yourself towards your next fairy ring, it will actually pop up a menu over in the interface and you can actually search for the one that you're going to. Now, I don't remember every single fairy ring code, but you can type in where you want to go and it will show you the code and automatically put it in for you, or you can just scroll through it and search. The Grand Exchange plugin is great. There are a bunch of different features for this one. The hotkey lookup, Alt plus left click, will let you look up an item. You can also enable notifications. Actively traded prices are great, so you can see what things are actually going for rather than what they're listed for in the Grand Exchange. You can actually enable the GE limits on the Grand Exchange as well. It will let you know how many of what you can buy, particularly useful if you merch a lot. GE totals, exact total values, highlight search matches. This one is just a great plugin overall. The next one is absolutely awesome too, and this is just a staple of RuneLite. The Ground Items plugin is super awesome. I love this plugin. I would never ever turn it off. Not only can you highlight items and hide items, but you can also change different colors of different things that are dropped. And it will also give you different notifications based on the drops. Now this one, I have a ton of hidden items. You can also highlight the items, and you can do this by holding the Alt key. If you hold the Alt key, the item will come up, a little plus or minus sign will show, and then you can click that to either hide it or highlight it, and it will add it to the list automatically so you never miss a drop again. And sometimes when you're killing stuff, there's a lot of stuff on the ground that you don't want to see, so you can hide those and get rid of them forever. You'll never have to see a notification for them again. Ground markers is another great one. This one, you can mark different tiles in the game based on what you're doing. You can also change the color of the marked tiles once you've finished marking a particular set. I use these at the Hydra. I have a different color for each phase, just so I know which phase I'm on and where I'm moving. You can use this one by holding the Shift key, right-clicking, and selecting Mark Tile. Next up is the idle notifier, and this is great for our super AFK friends out there. Idle animation notifications, interaction notifications, movement, logout, you can change it all in this plugin. That way, if you're woodcutting and you space out on your Netflix series that you're binging, it will give you a notification if you've been standing AFK too long and let you know that you're about to log out so you can get back to gaining that sweet XP. Implings is definitely a good one to have turned on. You never know when a dragon or lucky impling might pop up and you have the opportunity to catch it. Well, you can turn these on and you can set different colors to different implings based on whatever you want. You can also turn them off if you don't want to see the baby, the young, the gourmet implings, earth implings. I have a bunch of the lower ones turned off, the higher ones turned on, so I make sure I see them and grab them when I have the chance. Inventory Viewer is a great one. This one will actually display your inventory above your inventory, if that makes sense. Well, the heads up display or the GUI, whatever you want to call it, that shows you your stats, your combat style, quests, all that. You can turn this on and see an image of your inventory while you're switching through different screens. This is particularly useful at the Chambers of Xeric, Theater of Blood, anything like that, so you know where your items are at all times. Because if you don't have this turned on, sometimes maybe you forget where you left your Dragon Warhammer. Well, with the inventory viewer turned on, you can see exactly where it is when you get back to that screen. You don't have to search for it. Item charges is a pretty cool one. This has a bunch of different options in it, and it will show you the charges left on each of your items that are included in the plugin. And there are different ones here. Teleport charges, dodgy necklaces, water skins, bellows, baskets, amulet of bounties, chemistry, bracelets, anything like that. It will show you an active item charge count, so you never run out when you least expect it. Item identification is another one in the item class that is super great, and this one is particularly useful for our colorblind friends out there. You can turn on different options for this, including herbs and herb seeds, saplings, anything that looks the same that has a difficult to distinguish sprite. You can turn this on and it will give you a little text over the item. I use this one particularly for herb seeds and herbs. I'm not colorblind, but it still makes it a lot easier to find what I'm looking for. Item prices is up next. This one is pretty cool. It can show you grand exchange prices, high alchemy values, prices of stacks, and it can also show you profit as well as prices while alching. You'll never have to go to the grand exchange or look anything up with this plugin turned on. Item stats is another great one if you're sifting through your items trying to decide what weapon that you're trying to use. You can turn these on, it'll show you different stats about different items such as Abyssal Whips, Dragon Warhammers, Grazi Rapiers, anything like that. It's pretty cool. I kind of like to use it when I'm trying to decide what to use because I don't always remember exactly what has the best crush bonus or the best slash bonus. The Kourend Library plugin is super great, especially for those of you trying to get favor in the Arceus house or just trying to get some runecrafting XP, whatever you're trying to do there. This one is great because it will tell you where all the books are. It can also hide duplicate books. It can hide dark manuscripts if you're not searching for those, and it can also hide it when you're outside of the library. It's pretty cool. I used this one when I was getting favor and when I was looking for the Kourend teleport spell. Loot Tracker is possibly one of my favorite plugins. I am constantly doing Slayer, I'm constantly doing some sort of PVM, and I want to know exactly what I'm getting as drops. So with this one, you can turn this on, it will track every drop you ever get. It can remember your loot, especially if you're logged in between computers and clients. So I have this turned on, and there is so much stuff in there right now because I'm currently saving for a 1 billion GP loot tab. I'm about 1/5 of the way there, so I got a long way to go, but it still allows me to track everything that I get. Menu Entry Swapper is an absolute godsend from RuneLite. This one allows you to swap menu items, item swaps, NPCs, objects, user interface, ground item swaps. These ones are particularly useful for banking, chasing, claiming slime. It allows you to just go up and talk to somebody rather than trade them, like NPCs. There are a ton of different uses for this, and it is absolutely great. Make sure you take the time to go through all of these options, check out what it has to offer, turn on the ones that are going to be most useful for you. Next up is the Metronome. This one is great for learning how to prayer flick, and it's also great for skilling. You can actually use this and change it to play a metronome on different ticks. That way you never miss a tick while you're skilling. The prayer is great actually because you can learn how to prayer flick with this. If you flick on every game tick, you'll actually never lose any prayer points because the game is not registering that you have the prayer on for longer than one game tick. NPC Aggression Timer. This one's actually great for some alt accounts or just AFK combat XP. The NPC Aggression Timer will draw lines on your screen and tell you where the aggression of the monsters ends and starts for the next, I guess you could say, area of the NPCs. You can actually change the colors of this too to show the aggressive color and then the unaggressive color once that timer has run out. It will also give you a little timer in one of the little squares up in your boosted stats information. That way you know exactly when the aggression is going to run out. You can run out of the area and back in to restart the aggression without losing any time. NPC Indicators. I get asked about this one a ton in videos. A lot of people are like, how do you get those boxes around the monsters? Well, the NPC Indicators one is great for this. You can highlight different NPCs. You can also show a respawn timer with this, which is incredibly useful when you're doing different bosses, especially like God Wars dungeon. You can know exactly when that boss is going to come up so your tank can throw the prayer up. and I particularly use this one a lot at Dagonoth Kings to make sure I'm staying in a good rotation, but it works for pretty much any NPC that you could ever imagine, or I'm sorry, any monster. You can also highlight different monsters using this, and it will keep the list. You can right click and tag them or tag all. If you tag them specifically, it will tag that one spawn, but if you tag all, let's say undead chickens, for example, it will tag all of the undead chickens, so you don't have to do them individually. The next one is Nightmare Zone. This one's great because even me, I have everything that I need imbued. I actually have everything in the game imbued that can be imbued, but I still go back to Nightmare Zone every now and then because I need more points for redirection scrolls or to get my herb boxes for the day, whatever. You can turn on notifications for this that will give you notifications for all the power-ups, overload, early warnings, absorption thresholds. You can change all of this for whatever you need. It's a great plugin. Definitely use this one when you're in Nightmare Zone. Next up is object markers. This one's actually great and particularly useful for Vasa in the Chambers of Xeric. You can highlight the crystals. You can highlight other things like trees and rocks, anything you want that is a particular object. I like this one when I was doing resource gathering skills, so I could highlight different things, know exactly where they are, and pretty much not really have to use my brain while I'm doing it. It's a great plugin and it works pretty much the same way as the NPC Indicators plugin. The player-owned house plugin is great. You can turn on little map icons for everything in the house. It can show the altar, dig site pendants, exit portals, glory mounts, jewelry boxes, and a bunch more different stuff. This one's actually particularly good if you don't have your own high-level house. You might be using a house in the house party world and you're altering bones or something and you need to know where everything is. Well, on the minimap, it'll show you icons for all of that stuff without it even being your house. Next up is the prayer plugin, and I actually love this one. There is a prayer flick location that you can turn on with this one, and it is in the prayer orb. This is another one I get asked about a lot. You can see that line going across my prayer orb, and that is every game tick that it is going across. So that without using the metronome, you can actually use that as well to practice prayer flicking. Now it does have some other cool functionalities. There's a prayer orb tooltip that you can turn on, and if you hover over the prayer orb, it will allow you to see how much time that you have remaining. So that's really useful, especially if you're using a lot of different prayers. You can know exactly when it's going to run out. Next up is Puzzle Solver, and this one is just a given. This one will give you little dots or whatever to help you solve puzzle boxes for clue scrolls a lot faster. This takes your time down from, it could be minutes, I guess, if you're getting confused or if you get lost, to literal seconds. 30 to 45 seconds most likely is how long it's going to take you to do a puzzle box with this one turned on. The next one is screen markers, and this is probably another one of my favorites, or rather it was when I was maxing. I particularly remember using this one a lot when I was doing smithing. I was using the anvils in Xeric because it's pretty close to a bank. You can draw screen markers over the screen, over the anvil, the item you're smithing, and the bank booth. That way you don't even have to think, you just move your mouse to the next screen marker, click it, and off you go. The next one, and probably my most favoritist one, because I love Slayer and it's my favorite skill and I do it all the time, is the Slayer plugin. This one is great because it can give you a task info box, which you can hover over. It'll tell you what you have left, what your current streak is, how many points you have. It can also give you a superior foe notification so you never miss one. Maybe you're AFK and you don't see it pop up. Well, if you have the notification on, it will pop up a little Windows notification, give you a ding and tell you that a superior has popped up. You can also highlight your current Slayer task and it will highlight all of the monsters that you're supposed to be fighting. Special attack counter is a must-have for PVMers. This one can track your Dragon Warhammer hits as well as your Bandos Godsword special attacks. It will let you know exactly how many you hit or how much damage you've inflicted with the Bandos Godsword, letting you know if you hit or not. Maybe you had a bunch of hit splats pop up at the same time. You really should know if you hit your Dragon Warhammer spec. Well, this one will tell you. This one is absolutely amazing for the Corporeal Beast, especially when you're soloing. Next up is status bars, and this is another one I get asked about a lot. The status bars plugin will allow you to display your hit points in prayer on the left and right of your inventory. You can actually change these around to display more than that. You can display hit points, prayer, run energy, and special attack depending on what you're looking for and what you're doing in the game. It's particularly useful so you can keep a closer eye on what your hit points in prayer are at. That way you don't have to look up to the small little icons next to the minimap. They're a lot bigger and a lot more noticeable when on your inventory. Stretched mode is up next, and this one is great because it will allow you to stretch the old school RuneScape client into the full screen rather than just the little tiny Game Boy screen, because nobody wants to play RuneScape on a Game Boy screen in 2022. This one, you can actually take resizable scaling to a whole new level. The resizable scaling option allows you to scale the interface up or down depending on what you're trying to do or just how comfortable you are. When doing that, you can change the size of your inventory as well as the chat box based on what you want to see. Tile indicators is up next, and this one is up there also with my favorites. The tile indicators ones is great because you can actually highlight your destination tile. When you click on it, it will show up in the color that you choose. You can also turn on the highlight hovered tile option, which will hover over the tile and give you a little color to know exactly where you're going to click before you click. And the current tile will actually highlight exactly what you're standing on. This one is okay. I don't use this one because I kind of know where I'm standing, but highlighting the hovered tile and the destination tile are absolutely amazing. Timers is up next, and this is an absolutely great one. It displays a bunch of different timers throughout the game, which really improve the quality of life. These include the Abyssal Sire stun timer, anti-fires, anti-poisons, divine potions, God War's altars, imbued hearts, magic imbues. All of these can be controlled with this plugin, and it's definitely something you want to pay attention to while you're doing different activities. And to round out this video, my last plugin for quality of life is going to be the XP drop. I love the XP drop plugin because it lets me know exactly what I'm going to hit. You'll actually see an XP drop before you actually make the hit. And this actually helps a lot when attack moving throughout the game. I use it a lot when I'm using the toxic blowpipe. Now, as most of you probably know, drinking a dose of potion doesn't eat up a game tick, but you can fire a shot with the blowpipe, drink a prayer potion, and when you see the XP drop, it's going to be a little bit before you fire the shot with the blowpipe, and then you can drink your prayer potion and then click right back on the monster. It helps you time things. So having the XP drop on is actually a great plugin for timing and learning to attack move, especially, I guess you could kind of call it wooks walking with the blowpipe. You can get a hit off every tick while you're still moving. So that is going to wrap this one up. Yannick S, I hope that I have thoroughly answered your question with these 40 RuneLite plugins. If there is something in here you didn't know about, please let me know in the comments below. I really would like to know if I satisfied your request for this video. So guys, remember, if you have something that you would like to suggest for next week's video, pay attention to the community page on my channel. When the thread comes up, go ahead and post. Once again, I will pick the topic either Tuesday or Wednesday night following this video, so good luck on your suggestions. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications for the channel. That way you will know whenever I upload new content or post to my community page. Thank you all for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.